Hey, welcome to Dad Space. This is Dave. It's a little different music this time around. Yeah, a little different. What are we doing? Well, this is National Podcast Post Month. What does that mean to you? It means to you that you're going to get 30 episodes in 30 days. 30, I know, right? And the idea is that as podcasters, we're going to create episodes in support of National Podcast Post Month. They call it hashtag #NaPodPomo for those at home that are keeping score. But the idea is that we just create content for you daily in the month of November. So we are focusing on some great people that have been past guests on the show and friends of the show, answering questions about dads and giving you some feedback. And then also adding in some of the books that I found and resources I found as a fellow dad that could help you possibly on your journey as a dad. So that's kind of what we're focusing on this month, and I'm excited to share this with you. It's going to be a great month, and today's episode is part of that. I'm excited to share with you a new resource, possibly new to you, and tell you my thoughts about it here on Dad Space. Glad to be with you. The other big part of November, which I'm excited to also bring forward for those that are unaware, is we call it also Movember. What is Movember? It's when the mustache is calling. It is our time as men to unite, to take on mental health, suicide, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and all of that is to shine a light on men's mental health and men's physical health. And we're celebrating Movember as well. Link in the show notes for you to see how you can support is to raise money and awareness for men. So on top of doing National Podcast Post Month, this month is always focused on you as well as men. We're here to support you and to let you know that there's a community around you that's wishing and searching for the best for you as men. So happy Movember, everyone, as well. Let's get into the podcast. Okay, another book for you here. Welcome back to the show. We're looking at 30 episodes, 30 days for dads, tying it into Movember, which is really important, Movember.com. As well, though, I want to talk about some resources for dads. As we do 30 episodes in a row, I wanted to bring up some books that I've been looking at, reviewing for others and discussing with past guests. People have recommended these to me, so I wanted to share them with you. It says resources for you in your journey as a dad. And this one today, we're looking at The Intentional Father, a practical guide to raise sons of courage and character. So what I love here about this one by Jon Tyson, this book, The Intentional Father, is it's really a practical and an insightful guide for fathers seeking to raise sons, specifically looking at sons of courage and character in today's challenging cultural landscape. Jon Tyson presents a really clear and actionable plan for intentional fatherhood. I think that's something that we can all really kind of take a moment to think about. Are we being an intentional father in our home? And Tyson draws upon his own personal experience and backed by research and some key features from the book, just to kind of give you an overview if this is the right book for you. The practical approach that Jon Tyson shares in Intentional Father, this book really does offer some really good solid steps, activities, and rites of passage for fathers to implement, making it really a hands-on resource book, not just high-level thoughts, but actual practical things you can do. There's a big emphasis on intentionality, and Tyson stresses the importance of being a deliberate father and contrasting that with being an intentional father. So to be a little bit more engaged in the role of a father instead of being separate from it. And then there's a discipleship model brought into the book as well, where the author really encourages fathers to create a discipleship path for their sons, focusing on imparting the father's values and preparing the children for manhood. So really a good kind of like not just being a father, but discipling your kids, like teaching them and instructing them and guiding them through the process. So some core concepts from the book that I want to share with you. The Intentional Father, some core concepts. The rite of passage. Tyson describes the meaningful rituals to mark important milestones in a boy's journey to manhood. We see that in the Jewish faith. They have these rituals that they go through. But in our home, no matter what your faith, we could have a rite of passage that as our children grow, certain things happen during their time growing in the home that we can kind of celebrate and focus in on, as well as regular engagement. This book really does emphasize the importance of consistent, dedicated time between fathers and sons. Like not on your phone time, but like focused time. And character formation. It focuses on developing integrity and faith and resilience in young men. So what are some of the strengths from this book that I've been kind of uncovering as I look through it? Is it's really research-backed, which is nice. The book does incorporate a lot of statistical data to support its arguments and strategies. There's a nice relatable tone to this book as well. Tyson's personal anecdotes, they're really approachable, and I love how his writing style just makes the content really accessible. And overall, I just find it's really an adaptive and really adaptable framework for you as a dad. It does provide a lot of structured approach, but Tyson really encourages fathers to tailor their strategies to their individual situations. So what are some considerations? This book is written from a Christian worldview, which may not resonate with everyone, but it does focus on father-son relationships, which is something that I think anybody, no matter what your faith is, you can really hone in on this. The Intentional Father really does serve as a valuable resource for fathers, grandfathers, male mentors, looking to actively shape the character of young men in your lives. It provides a roadmap for raising sons, and sons that are going to be prepared to navigate the complexities of life as a man, and to do so with confidence and integrity. So I love the idea of discipling your kids. I hear a lot of discipline of your kids, but discipling your kids, that's a different level. And I really encourage you to think about, how have you discipled your kids this week? Not just how have you disciplined them. How are you teaching them? How are you growing them? How are you modeling the path that they should take in their life? You're set up in your home for a reason, whether you are co-parenting or you're there in the home with your kids. You're there for a reason. Your kids need to see you and see you demonstrate the words that you say. This whole do as I say, don't do as I do. Guys, we got to stop. We got to stop using that as an out for bad behavior on our own part. We got to demonstrate that this is the way you treat your partner. This is the way you treat your family. This is the way you show up for work. This is the way you show up in community. This is how you have good friends in your life. This is how you modulate and keep your cool when things get heated. This is how you love. This is how you care. And this is how you show it. And it starts with us. It starts with you. It's not too late. If you're like, Dave, I wish I knew about this earlier. No, I'm an empty nester. It could start now. It could start anytime. The sooner the better. So use these resources as maybe a launching pad, a springboard for you to bounce off of. Take what you want, leave what you don't want, but check it out. And seek out these resources that are going to help you be a better father. Okay? It's November. Happy Movember to you. And thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. You got this. You're a great dad. This is Dad Space. I'm glad you're here. Happy November to you. Happy Movember. And I would love for you to share this with another dad. This podcast, this Movember, this month where we focus on dads, this is the focus on you. And we are in your corner. If you've ever felt like you're alone, if you've ever felt like you're doing this on your own and there's no one there to help you and support you, then let Dad Space be that for you this Movember. We need to stick together. We need to be there to support each other and build each other up as men. And this was an entire month focused on us being Movember. So happy Movember, everyone. Understand that you're loved, cared for, and needed in this world. And there's no one else that can be the father that you can be. There's no one else who can be the man that you can be. And we need you. Happy Movember. Thanks for listening to Dad Space. And look forward to having you back for the next daily episode here in the month of November as we celebrate Movember and National Podcast Post Month. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a great dad. And thanks for sharing the show. Happy Movember, everybody.
It's time to rethink men's health. Because it doesn't just affect men, it affects us all. When men are well, the benefits ripple through families and communities. But when men are unwell and unsupported, we all feel it. We're all the real face of men's health. Be part of the solution with Movember.